I welcome you all back home on this dark day. But we have no time to grieve long over Thorman, or even Foradant. Our enemy has revealed himself and issued a threat. How can we respond other than face him? But first things first, we require new leadership. Who is willing to take up this responsibility?
I will not. My past should be sufficient reason why I would not like to be in charge of a group of warriors. I require someone else to make the decisions for me.
I don't think I'll stand a chance here. I have insufficient experience as a ranger, let alone as a leader. I know I have a big mouth from time to time, but I also know myself well enough to understand that I could not take up this task.
What about you, Outlander? Are you willing to take up this responsibility? I think you show wisdom and courage to decline leadership. I am inclined to claim it as my own in your stead, although I do not truly desire it. Are you comfortable with this outcome? I welcome your faith, and hope to attain as much myself. Now that we have re-established the chain of command, let us discuss how to proceed. If we don't decide on our next action soon, Durkoth will be allowed to enslave all of the Shire for his own benefit. Let's discuss among ourselves what our plan should be.
I applaud your restraint, and for allowing leadership to pass on to Byersale. I think she is better suited for the task. No offense meant, but you have only just been a ranger. I would have followed you nonetheless, but I'm glad I do not need to. Now, let us discuss the matters at hand. I think there is no time to delay action. The longer we wait, the more innocent lives he corrupts. The halflings know nothing of conflict. I am aware that our numbers are low, but this is no excuse for cowering and hiding, or refusing our responsibility. I would like to forgive him. I know he is not truly to blame for his actions, that his mind was poisoned by Durkoth's silky tongue. But I can't help but feel anger towards him. I trusted him. I thought we were alike. Now, this thought frightens me. Should I be less trusting? Do I have to restart all the progress I made since Thorman took me under his wing? I have no answers for these questions. I will miss him, I'm not ashamed to say. Thorman was my beacon in the darkness that surrounded me since my early childhood. It will be difficult for me to adjust to a life without his counsel, but I'm sure I will manage. It is time I face these demons myself. And I am fortunate to have a strong group of companions surrounding me who will aid me in my recovery. Durkoth won't fight an honest battle. Look for shimmering shadows and illusions of the mind. I think Durkoth got involved with some ancient and dark magic. I know little of how to counter these tactics. Luckily, I should have no trouble with his minions. Sure.
Before we talk about our mission, I must admit, I'm quite surprised you let Byersale take command. I figured you'd try to secure leadership for yourself. You struck me as the type who would do that. I'm glad to say you didn't. I'd rather follow Byersale's lead, and I would have challenged you along the way anyway. Strike! And strike swiftly! I can't, and he's inflicted so much pain already. If it were up to me, I'd lure him out of his hole and eliminate him. Allow me to be totally honest with you. I've been sneaking out of the base from time to time. Not just to escape my chores, but I also wanted to hone my scouting skills, and I've seen the men Durkoth employs. They aren't the sharpest tools in the shed, if you know what I mean. I think we could take them out quite easily, and that would diminish the grasp Durkoth holds over the area. Our enemy might be a bit more defenseless then. You know, I won't deny that I could always agree with Thorman's decision, but he was the best leader I could imagine. It's hard to think about how we might progress from here on. It's like the foundation of our company is cracked, and we're shaking in the wind. To be honest, I could think of no other way to honor his memory than by completing the mission. So I want to focus on that for now, if you don't mind. I don't want to speak any more on Foradant than I need to. Honestly, what was he thinking? He knew he shouldn't trust Durkoth. I don't think I could ever forgive him for his foolish actions. I know I would have never done the same were I in his shoes.
And so we speak again. I remember when we first met, when Nostalmor attacked me. How much has changed. I never wished for this position, but I'll make the best out of it. We should not act too rashly. Yes, I am aware that there is little time to be lost, but we cannot allow ourselves to lose any more members of our company. Needless to say, the safety of the people of the Shire is at stake, and it is our sworn duty to protect them. So we act, but we need a plan before we... I only know that he cannot be trusted, and that his men are loyal to his promises. Perhaps we can undermine his authority, or show that he is not as all-powerful as he presents himself to be. Even better would be if we could call the people of the Shire into action, that they would rise against their would-be master. But I fear Durkoth might have some surprises in store for us, some that we cannot anticipate. I feel sorry for him. I know he desired a more proactive attitude towards the events in the Shire, but he allowed himself to be poisoned by honeyed words. I wish I'd picked up the signal sooner, and looking back I admit that there have been clues. Perhaps I had been too optimistic, and assumed that my unshakable trust in Thorman was universally shared. I cannot express. That is how I choose. The way he died should not defile the way he lived. Let us be inspired by him, even after his passing. Alright, I think it's fairly obvious by now what we should do. A frontal attack at this point is unwise. We should try to weaken his efforts in the Shire. If we can cut off his supply lines, hinder his workers, and stimulate the resistant spirits of the halflings, we might be able to strike him down in a weakened state. So go out into the world, all of you, and do good wherever you can. Sabotage Durkoth's efforts to draw him out of hiding. We have a chance, I think, but we cannot delay. The time is now. Speak to me for leads on how to oppose Durkoth's minions and slaves.
Keeping busy, Outlander.
Oh hey, did you... Several ways. For starters, we can... Next, aside from that, and releasing the halflings they've locked away couldn't hurt either. Good. We have an urgent... As you may have heard, it is one of the own... But if we don't do... An invasion force is on its way. Good to hear. Show me there's still hope.
My brother.
You'll get a bonus.
You're nothing compared to me. I'll crush you. We'll meet again, I promise you.
You can't hope to win.
Is this supposed to be a challenge? I can
Thank you, Ranger. They would have with you, so don't you worry about us.
I hear the invasion of Tuckburg was foiled. I knew I could count on you. There is more to be done. Where will you go next? Tinruth recently intercepted a message from a notorious bandit. After a brief inspection, he rambles, but apparently, if I understand, if you arrive at the gate before him, we can cripple our enemy's reinforcement lines. Best of luck, Outlander.
These pathetic bastards. This is our land now. Oh, is the poison dead already? Pathetic words. I'll show you pain. I'll crush you. Supposed to be a challenge.
I heard you welcomed that bandit chief to the Shire in a proper manner. Nicely done, Outlander. There is more to be done. Where will you go next? Well, there is a matter down in the marshes that I believe you should take a look at. Apparently, several patrols of ruffians have been causing trouble for the farmers down there. Good chance they're acting drunk and disorderly, so they're being ruffians. Not entirely a surprise. I'll be awaiting your report then.
I'll show you pain. You better run while you're still can. Pathetic words. Nothing compared to me. I'll show you pain.
The anarchy in the marshes has been extinguished. Being as you're back, I assume my sources aren't mistaken. Another task for the history pages, eh? Several ways. Next, aside from releasing the halflings they've locked away couldn't hurt either. Good timing. The little folk there have endured much suffering and toil. Excellent. Here are the banners you'll need to replace Dirkos with. Good luck then.
a poor little nothing compared to you better run while you still can. Or make you suffer. I'll show you, filthy worm. Is this supposed to be a challenge?